The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I thought this was the first book in the series. It's not. The Magician's Nephew is the first book, but this is the first book that I'm reading. And this is a story, this is a series that you can get into, I think, anywhere. It's a children's book. And even if you're a child watching this video, hi. I speak to children in a syrupy voice, apparently. This book is syrupy. It's fantastic. It is a great story with a moral of a story, but it's not just, the story that's supposed to teach you a lesson. It's also fun. We're reading about 4 children who escape London and they go to spend some time in a big house that has lots of places to explore. So there are outdoor spaces and there are indoor spaces. And in this story, in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, there's an indoor space that becomes an outdoor space because they go into this wardrobe and they are transported to this magical place where they can spend eons in this place and no time passes in their real lives. And so I love it. I love this escape of time and space. A moral to this story, but it's not just a moralistic story. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable on every level that you could read it. So this book is appropriate for children. It's also appropriate for older readers who will understand the story behind the story. This is a book with a spiritual bent. Biblical references are made. Sons of Adam and daughters of Eve are used to describe human children, and there's a little bit of a discussion about the prophecy and real events that happen in the Bible. So the lion here represents Jesus Christ, and what Jesus does for the world is represented here in the book. No spoiler, trying to be cryptic, like you haven't read the Bible or know the story of the Bible. But yeah, there's a lot about this one. But the thing that just kind of drives this story home for me is that there is so, this thing that happens in children's books, how children are unsupervised and they're able to go and have adventures without parents or a lot of adults really being there, being present. And that happens in here, but there is also a man who's a professor who comes in at just the right time to give just the right advice and counsel. And he talks a little bit about using logic to solve problems. And so he discusses how to treat a person who you're not sure whether or not they have done the thing that they may be suspected of doing or that they have been accused of doing. So in here we have a child who's being accused of having told a falsehood. And so the professor counsels the other children, how do you proceed? Like, if this person has been truthful to you in the past, here's how to proceed. And if this person has been known to not always tell the truth, here to proceed. And if you're not sure, here's how to proceed as well. Using logic to solve problems, which I think is a lesson that we need to learn. I think we could use a little bit more of that in our society. So yeah, I love this. I'm here for this series. This was on my 2022 year-long TBR. And I've read this book, and now I want to read the rest of the series. So I got this copy from the library. I'll be seeking out the rest of the books. This book has inclusions from the movie adaptation. Should I watch the movie after I've read each one of the books to kind of cement the story home? I don't know. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. So there's another thing that happens in this book that I really like. It is when someone leaves the fold. Someone is a little tempted to go off and do their own thing. It may seem like they're betraying the rest of the group, but really they're following their own dreams, their own passions, their own desires. And it's not always coming from a bad place. Sometimes it's a temptation that that person has yielded to because they are weak. And that is the time when the community needs to rally around them, support them, and do everything that they can to bring them back. And, that's a story that comes straight from the Bible as well, but it's also in here in a slightly different way. And I love that. I love the representation of biblical themes in this book. It makes it a little easier to share the biblical story with children if they read this book. There are also things that aren't quite biblical, like they're in versions of the Bible or the apocryphal, is that how you say that word, apocryphal Bible? Like the mention of Lilith, who's not in the 66 chapter Bible. But yeah, that comes in here, and would love to know if you have read this book, how you feel about this being a representation of Christianity and Christian beliefs. Let's chat about that in the comments. So yeah, I read the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and now I don't know if I should go back and read The Magician's Nephew or go forward and read The Horse and His Boy. If you've read the series, let me know in the comments down below. Let's chat out there, and until we come back for another video, happy reading. Bye!